Hey, this is Gayle from BERNINA of Naperville, and I'm back. But this time, I had to come down here to the restaurant in order to do this video because Sweetums is upstairs sleeping because it's super early. So, had to beat the crowd to tell you all the rest of our part for yesterday. So we went to the 790 Pro class, and oh my gosh, this machine is so awesome. You are going to just love it. The first thing I have to tell you is, well, hang on a second, breakfast is coming. All right, so let's talk about the things that are on the inside that we don't even really notice. First of all, this machine is so much quieter and it's 33% faster. That's in addition to the speed that we gain with the smart drive technology, you know, that SDT module. And so you can feel that immediately when you sew on the machine. Now, we were in a room of probably 50 of these machines and 2 tables per those banquet tables. And honestly, there was not a whole lot of shaking going on. Those machines could really handle it, and it was amazing. It looks awesome. It's got that matte finish. It's a black matte finish, and it's really awesome. So some of the things that I noticed when I sat down at this machine is it's got a longer thread pre-tensioner, and that means that, you know how sometimes your thread just kind of jumps out of the back of the machine and then all of a sudden mayhem ensues? Well, this is a fail-safe, so that's not going to happen. Then there's a different thread take-up. This thread take-up is not like any thread take-up you've ever seen. It's totally cool. Then there's a clamp that's improved right above the needle, and that clamp is going to hold the thread into position so that it tightens up the thread so that that needle threader works every single time. And oh, it's like a dream. And you know, I mentioned in the earlier video that the needle threader is automatic like the 880 Plus, but you know, it's like it in the sense that a little Swiss robot comes down there to thread the machine, but it's not the same because it's that same threading path that you would take on any 4, 5, 7 series machine, except once you get it in those little lips, that little presenter, all you do is just push a button right there on the machine and it's going to thread it. Now here's the deal. That thread button that is the threader, it just replaces the pattern begin. So your pattern begin functionality becomes on the screen of the, you know, the stitch viewer, just like on our 880 Pluses and the 5 series. So we made this little project that is like, you know, one of those Kimberbell blanks that's a little zippy pouch. And the first thing we did was applique, where I saw how that laser really works. It's amazing. When the needle's up, there's a little red light that shines right where it's gonna go, and I mean, it works. And I really tried hard to get my camera up there to look and see where this like laser is pointing, and it was pretty amazing. Once we did that, it was time for embroidery, and there's so many improved embroidery functionalities on this machine, and one of them is that it can read those BQM files from your Qmatic, for instance. So that means it can take like the largest quilting design ever and just scale it down right for your domestic machine. This technology from a long arm machine being put into a domestic is pure genius, if you ask me. And so we were able to not only resize the design to fit in this little diamond applique, but we did 4-point morphing in order to get it to be really custom for that shape. So that was really exciting. Finally, along those lines, when we're doing the quilting, there's a little button that you press right on the machine, and that turns off the jump stitches. It turns off those extra little knotting stitches that might cause, you know, some weird stuff underneath, and it really made that design beautiful. So not only were we able to quilt with amazing precision and adjust even the margin of where that quilt design was going in that little diamond shape, but then when we did the lettering, You're gonna love this. You know, we're so used to a QWERTY keyboard on our phones and everything. And what that means is instead of an A, B, C, D, E, F, whatever keyboard, it's the QWERTY that we're used to on our keyboard. So that, you know, is just one of the little details that were really thought out on this machine. But what's really cool is that we can actually do our labels, our quilt labels now, or any little like tags that we might want to make in 3 lines. So you just write what's on the first line and hit enter. Then you have line 2 of 2 and write that and hit enter, and up to 3 lines. And then what's super cool is we have right margins, centered margins, or left margins. And that makes, you know, making your quilt labels and everything so much easier. Another thing that I loved and discovered is that if you want to make the design larger or smaller, if you skew it, you know, so it's longer and wider and fills the space or whatever, you can actually preview that and then just toggle back and forth between locked proportions or non-locked proportions. And you know, that's really valuable because sometimes we don't know if we want to skew it or not, and then we have to undo, and then we have to redo it again. So it's just really saving time, and it's very intuitive. Also, the 4-point centering was great. I think a lot of you that love Kimberbell projects and things like that are gonna love this new 4-point pinpoint placement. And my final thing about lettering is that you are also going to be able to adjust the spacing between the lines of text, as well as adjust the spaces between the letters. We've been able to do the spaces between the letters in word art for a long time, but now we're able to adjust those rows, and thank you. You know, I love the software. I use it all the time, but sometimes I just got to be down and dirty, you know, when I'm camping at like events like this and I need access to a machine. Well, I hope you found this video informative. You know, I also wanted to address the issue that there are those of you out there that have an 880 plus, and you're like, well, oh my God, I'm losing 2 inches, and you're gonna make me buy this machine that is kind of like not even as fancy as my 8 series. Well, you know what? Maybe this machine isn't for you, and maybe you need to hold tight for just a little bit. I can't really talk about it, but stay tuned. And then finally, what we're going to do with this machine, we're going to offer some special BERNINA of Naperville packages for you, whether you're trading in or you're not trading in or whatever. And I really can't disclose sale pricing here on our YouTube channel, but to give you an idea, the MSRP on this machine is around $15,500. So some of you have been asking about that. So, but stay tuned. You know, we'll be doing other videos about that and the packages that we're offering with the machine. But right now, it's time for day 2, and I hope that you will tune in and keep following us. And don't forget, it's on our BERNINA of Naperville YouTube channel, which is easy to find because it's youtube.com/BERNINA of Naperville, and there you can like, comment, and subscribe. Happy sewing and happy seeing. And it's always a big day at BERNINA of Naperville.